Good evening. We want to bring you some interesting updates in Anthony R. D'Amato Jr.'s legal saga. Over the weekend, this streamer who goes by the handle of Zero Dark Tony reported that subpoenas have been served on his critics. He said both hero Light Cody and Clea objected, and he seemed to take the objections as proof the subpoenas had actually arrived, like he didn't know. How would you not know if you had served the subpoenas properly? Anyway, of course there's more to the story than Tony's odd version of events. On his Saturday morning stream entitled Court Update, They're Avoiding Service, Tony claimed that the objections to the subpoenas mean his critics are avoiding court, and that he'll drag them in to testify anyway. On this episode, we're going to play his own words and break them down. And with me at the desk tonight is Hero Light Cody himself. Cody, welcome back to We Outside News.
Thanks, Zoe. Happy to be here to clear this up.
All right, tell us how you learned of the subpoena.
Well, I got a strange message from Google. Google legal support sent me an email which read, Google has received a subpoena for information related to your Google account in a case entitled Willens Mindy versus D'Amato, Anthony Robert Jr., Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles. It went on to say, this email serves as notice to you that Google may produce information related to your Google account in response to this subpoena unless you email a file-stamped copy of a motion to quash by 10 a.m. Pacific Time on October 14, 2025. It also said, to make sure we receive a copy of what you filed with the court, please attach it in reply to this email. Now, it's a little alarming to read this and not have a subpoena or anything, and not been served anything myself as to what exactly Google was subpoenaed for. But Google expected me to reply with a motion to quash. Otherwise, they might hand over my records. This was odd to me, since I'm not party to that case. And why would a judge allow a subpoena into my records for someone else's restraining order? So, I just started with the first step, which was to request a copy of the subpoena from Google. And then I talked to some attorneys.
That makes sense. Now, before you go on, let's see what Tony had to say.
Just some good news here. So, the individuals who thought that I was bullshitting about the subpoenas, they received them. And now what they did was they objected. They objected, which means they're avoiding service and they're avoiding testimony. There you go. That's the news right now. That's an update. That's a huge update. These stupid motherfuckers have now objected to coming into court. And Cody and Clea were both served their subpoenas. Okay? We are going to fucking find you motherfuckers and we're going to bring you into court. And you could sit there and bitch and piss and moan.
Wow, Tony says you're avoiding testifying. What's the truth?
First correction. Filing an objection to a subpoena does not equal avoiding service. I was never served anything. I was just given notice by Google of the subpoena they received. This wasn't even a subpoena to appear in court or testify. It was a record subpoena demanding my YouTube account data. I got a notice from Google because my channel was listed in the subpoena to them. Under California law, you file an objection to stop a company from releasing private data until a judge rules. That's what I did. It's a right, not evasion. Did he expect me to hope a big corporation would do the right thing and not release private data? Or maybe he hoped I would passively consent and just let him have a look, right? Why would anyone just say, okay, yeah, go ahead and provide all my data to a guy named Zero Dark Tony, the serial cyber bully, and his shady attorney, Stephen Tamer?
Exactly. That's not avoiding court. That's using your rights under the law. And totally fair, considering he's been ranting for months about using a subpoena to find you and what he said he'd do to you. Let's jump ahead a bit and watch our next clip.
They took out little phrases of mine, and Cody, who's such a little bitch, who's avoiding service because he's a fucking coward because he knows that he's going to go to fucking prison. If he is ever fucking found and caught, which he will be, because he's a criminal. And when I have the reports that I have, we're going to bring those reports to the judge, and we're going to get the judge to compel them to come in. The judge is going to compel it. So what they're doing now is they are actively avoiding. See, we've had to take great efforts to try and get to them to come in to testify. And now that they're avoiding service, this is going to be extremely bad for them. Extremely. Because now I could go to the detective and I could go, they're avoiding service also. Not only are they terrorizing, but we're trying to call them into court and they're avoiding service. And here's a list of the hate crimes that Cody and Clea and this fucking idiot have done. We have got you, motherfuckers. You did exactly what I wanted you to do. You did exactly what I wanted you to do. So everybody who's going to get one, and a lot of people are going to go ahead and object and show the court that you are unwilling to come in and testify. Okay, that's going to look good. That's going to look good. Getting closer to you, Cody. And yeah, we're going to throw it up on the record. You're right. Everybody's going to get to see it. I don't get the information. So there's no going to or saying or complaining like that I'm going to do something with the information because I don't get the information. So what you did was dumb. What you did was dumb. Cody said he fears for his life. By the way, he fears for his safety. So Cody now says he's scared of me. Cody now says he's scared. Okay. Cody said he was scared. Cody, you scared? You scared to come in to talk in the court, aren't you? Yeah. Well, guess what, motherfucker? We're going to peel your fucking ass, boy. We're going to get you in there. This is all legal. What are you afraid of? I'm not doing anything to you. You just got to testify. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? You're a cartoon, remember? You remember nobody could catch you. Nobody could do this. We are on your fucking heels, dog. We're on your heels. And if we got to drag you into that courtroom to get the truth out of you, so be it. I don't care. I don't give a shit. What he did was he objected, but he didn't. His objections were like stupid as shit. Just the dumbest fucking thing you could ever fucking see.
Wow, I don't even know what to say.
I don't know either.
Okay, let's watch this part.
And just want you to know, now that Cody and Clea have gotten their good morning. Now that these subpoenas have gotten to them, well, this is kind of what seems to have occurred, is that Cody objected and Clea objected, which means they're avoiding service. They're avoiding service, you know? They're avoiding service. I don't get the information, and part of their objection was they complained that I was going to dox them or something. No, it's going to go on the court record, which means it's going to be public, which means everyone's going to see it. Everyone's going to know who they are because it's going to be on the public record, just like I am, just like everybody in these cases, right? Except these individuals are now avoiding service, and their objection, oh yeah, they got their subpoenas. The ones that they thought were never coming, that I'm such a big mouth, well, they had to go and object to them because we are right on their fucking heels. And now what we do is, since they are avoiding service, we go to the judge and we compel. It's called, we are going to get the judge to compel them for the information. So we have them. We have them 100%. And all I want to do is have them testify. I don't know why they're avoiding testimony so much when they say they have the truth on their side. Why aren't they coming in to tell it? Come in to tell the truth then. If you're such a bearer of truth and light against me, it's not going to work, motherfucker. We have so much fucking shit on you that we are going to be able to get you into the courtroom because they are now avoiding service. They're avoiding service. They're avoiding testimony. It's just not going to happen. There's a reason they're avoiding. It just looks so bad for them to object and avoid coming in to tell the truth after we've subpoenaed them. Looks horrible. It looks horrible. In fact, on one of the matters that I'm dealing with, this could create the default judgment. Cody, by the way, and Clea objecting could create a default judgment because they're avoiding testimony. So thank you, dummies. You did exactly what the fuck I wanted you to do.
So, Cody, can Tony go to a judge and compel? And what is he saying about a default judgment?
There's no use trying to understand what he's saying because it's all bluster and intimidation tactics that are not based in reality. An objection does not create a default judgment. Default judgments happen when someone ignores a lawsuit or fails to respond, not when they object to a defective record subpoena. Now, I'm not a lawyer or anything, but my understanding is that what actually should happen is that Google should now halt the production of my records unless a court orders it. So I believe, next, only a judge could compel it, which might be what Tony was trying to say. But once a judge gets a look at this, well, as Tony would say, the judge is going to love this.
So you objected? Then Google responded, which was kind of confusing, if you could talk about that for a second, and then back up to the subpoena. What was actually in it?
Yeah, so when I sent my objection, Google responded with the same form letter saying I needed to submit a motion to quash. Now, let's go back to the subpoena. It immediately looked like a fishing expedition for my identity and all of my data. That's just not allowed. Everything Tony has been threatening to get, they really think they are going to get from Google. It said the watch history, identity of individuals, and deleted videos, unlisted, private, pertaining to the following accounts, as well as all messages, posts, likes, tags that were sent to the following accounts. Then it listed Mindy's account, mine, Clea's, Dodge's, and others. So it seeks content that providers often will not or legally cannot hand over simply on a garden-variety civil subpoena. It's vague and overbroad. No time range. No narrow list of specific records tied to a claim. That's why objections exist, to stop fishing expeditions.
So again, this was never about testimony or coming into court. It was about overreaching data demands. Cody, what's next with your objection?
Well, so I did object, but Google had not confirmed they are halting production. I sent my objection to both Tamer and Google, as well as the attorney for Mindy, Merritt McKinn. By Friday, Ms. McKinn had served a motion to quash, arguing the subpoenas were invalid. She also argued that civil harassment cases under California Code of Civil Procedure don't even allow discovery. So all this talk about compelling me into court is just bluster. Nothing about the faulty subpoena was ever to get us into court to testify, just to get Google to produce records. He doesn't even seem to know what he's talking about.
It's kind of sad. I almost feel bad for him. Now, the motion to quash served Friday asks the judge to quash these subpoenas and sanction Tony's lawyer, Stephen Tamer, for misuse of process. Now, you and Clea both objected. Those objections were submitted as exhibits in the motion to quash. Cody, you made some interesting arguments in your objection. Can you share those?
Yes, anonymous speech is protected in the United States. And I take the defense of that seriously. I cited really important Supreme Court decisions that protect anonymous freedom of speech and anonymous freedom of association. Attempts to unmask me or anyone else chill constitutionally protected anonymous association and speech. Look, I report on Tony's public statements. I report about his court cases and his patterns of behavior. I create parody content, and I educate. All of this is protected, and I can do it anonymously, and now I'm invested in protecting that.
And Tony himself has tied finding your identity to threats.
Right. He recently said he'd get my bank information. He said if he snapped, my house would be the first house he would go to. He said if he still did illegal things, if he had a mindset of psychopathy and illegality, that I would be gone. Look, we know this guy got his record cleaned up by expungement. There's plenty of evidence he has a mindset of psychopathy and illegality. He frequently admits violent tendencies. He cyberbullies people. His intent is to create fear and intimidate. It's exactly why I started speaking up.
Good point, Cody. So let's be crystal clear. No one was subpoenaed to appear in court. This was a defective record subpoena to YouTube. Objections like Cody's block production until a judge rules. Tony's livestream spin may sound dramatic, but in the real world the law is catching up. His misuse of subpoenas is now under challenge. The motion to quash is pending. My assumption is it will be heard October 10th at the next court date for Mindy's restraining order. If Tony wants to test this, he will have to do it in court, not in his fantasies, nor on YouTube. Have a good night, and see you soon.